As the sun slowly creeps up and brushes across Hardock's face, he opens his eyes and begins to get up. Oh man. Well, might as well cook some breakfast for these folks. As he gets up, he pulls out his kitchen gear from his pack and he lights a little fire, preparing to make breakfast for his crew.
As you bring the frying pan over on top of the small stilts you've set above the flame, you find yourself surprised. Not by a flame, but an orange face flickering at you through the flame. Good morning, Hardock, says the familiar voice of Athoth. Up early,
Morning.
aren't you?
Good morning. You just like to pop up anywhere now, do you?
Well, you're up quite early now, aren't you yourself, huh?
As a cook should be.
Ah, the cook of the group. Dinar told me a few things about you last night. The man who earned the respect of a dragon lord with stake alone. Now that, if I had a mortal form, would be something I would give up that mortal form to try.
Indeed. As Hardock puffs out his chest and raises his arms.
You know, an accomplishment like that can earn you a spot at a king's table.
Really?
If you got the right kind of tongue, they'll weasel your way in, sure. So, tell me then a little bit more about yourself. The word of others' tongues is only so far, but the word straight from your mouth, now that is the right story to hear. I've gotten to know the rest of your party, and now I'd like to know you. Where'd you come from? How'd you get here? And what are you doing in the future?
For me, it all kind of started when I just woke up on a ship. I had no memory of my past. I was just a wee little child, and I was basically adopted into this crew. My family now. Along down the line, I came to learn I had powers. Not magical. Mind you, no, I can't use magic, sadly. But it's it's hard to describe. It's a dark kind of magic that I'm able to use, but I still can't fully control it.
Oh, intriguing. Yet another one of the party members with amnesia. I wonder, have you and the orc discussed whether your two pasts might be linked in some way?
That is a good question.
Well,
I don't believe we have yet.
a story for later then it seems. Tell me more about this power of yours. How did you find out you had it? And what does it do?
Well, I found out I had it when it was like it's hard to tell time on a ship, but it was a long time after I was with the crew and we were being boarded by this other ship and they were able to overwhelm us. And that's when I let anger take over because I wanted to protect my family. And I well, not single handedly, I had the help of others, but I like to say single handedly, scared off the rest of the crew, the other crew, back to their ship and made sure they never came back. I don't remember exactly what changed about me. I remember seeing a tail. Others said my eyes went completely black and that they saw a weird shadow form over me.
Hmm, menacing. So, how did a man born with sea legs end up so far inland? You're what, 120 miles away from the nearest shore?
That's the tricky part right now. I'm actually with this band of misfits to try and find the crew. We boarded this land, and they were all taken prisoner. Too easily, in fact. I was one of the few that slipped away, along with a couple others. I did find one, and he's leading me to my motherly figure, we'll put it at that. But first, we have a competition to win.
So, these other bands of misfits of yours, they're quite interesting folk. You've got yourself a shiny dragonborn, a lunatic of an orc, and a different kind of lunatic of a cat. How did you come across these folk, and what do you think about them?
I came across them in a tavern, not too far from here, that I recall. And I was just trying to get to know the cat lady because, as a pirate, I never really saw many of them. And I was just trying to ask him some questions. I remember the orc bullying me about it, kept hitting me for some reason. And then I think the Dragonborn was just brooding in the corner when the mayor came barging in, being all like a wailing baby. But I think we decided then and there we were each strong enough. Why not just go try and find her?
So, tell me about your thoughts on your other party members then.
My party members, I mean, I like the Dragonborn. He's big and strong. I hope to be able to get to his level and the orc's level one day of power. Maybe learn a little magic too from the cat. They're each crazy in their own way. The orc is his stories are wild. It's hard to believe some of them, but when you see the things we've come across and how they livened up with his stories, I'm starting to believe him a little more. The cat, um, she's on another level. She's her own little cat thing. I don't know what to think of her. I mean, I adore her. She's fun to hang around with. She's just very unpredictable, especially around fire.
She very much reminds me of the feline version of a bouncing ball.
That is a good way to put it. Exactly. And then the Dragonborn. He's obviously the brains of the group, so I let him guide us most of the way.
He came up with the name, the New Horizons too, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Quite a name for ourselves.
I think it's fitting. I've seen from my stories alone that your party's quite full of hope. I think that you're such a good example of that with your chefly skills and the way that you're able to captivate even the strongest and mightiest on the land here. It's
Oh,
quite a
I
symbolic thing.
would take this as a compliment. Well, thank you, little flame.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you get back to your legendary breakfast for your fellow friends here. I hope that your story not only continues but ends with a dramatic flair, as all good stories do.
I would hope so. I'm up this early cooking them breakfast. Let's just hope this story doesn't end too soon, you know?
Have a good day, Hardock. The flame will
All
say.
right, little flame. I'll see you around.
He heats up a little bit before vanishing in a flash.